All right, can I have your attention, please, up here? First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming here and sharing this special day with all of us, especially with Judy and Luke as they became married, and we got to join their special day and have a lot of fun with them. For those of you who came from out of town, we appreciate your coming out of town. Okay, eat the microphone. So you can you hear me in back? Good. Yeah. Louder.
Come on, Josh, turn it up.
Okay, that's louder. Okay, very good. All right, well, I made some notes here and I put it in nice big font, so I don't need my glasses to make it nice and dark. I just want to say a couple things, and you know, looking on the internet, I figured out, yeah, I've got to say a speech, I've got to get a toast. What do I do? So I had to go to YouTube and find out what to do. I don't know where else you go to find this information out, but that's where I went. And I saw some wonderful toasts that fathers had done for their daughters and sons. And some of them got up there and sang a song. Some of them danced. Some of them even rapped.
Yeah, come on, rap.
My first gift to you is
I'm not doing
I'm not
any.
going to sing, I'm not going to dance, and I am not going to rap. You're very welcome.
I am.
Well, 22 years ago, Lori and I welcomed Judy into our lives. For Lori, it was a very natural thing to be around babies. For me, it was like, what do I do with this thing? I really didn't know. I was very, it was very foreign to me. But Lori quickly showed me what to do, and Judy was marvelous, and we just had a great time. And we've really enjoyed growing up with her in the past 22 years. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but it's been a great ride. We're just looking forward to the next few decades or whatever it takes to as we continue. Many of you have seen the movie Father of the Bride. Steve Martin, great movie. You all remember the dinner scene where he's sitting around the dinner table and his daughter's telling him for the first time, Daddy, Daddy, I'm getting engaged. And he's looking across the table and his daughter's about 6 or 7 years old saying, Daddy, Daddy, I'm getting engaged. That's kind of how I felt in the last few weeks. My daughter is getting married, and that's just a very foreign thing for me. I'm so happy for you. It's a marvelous thing, but as a dad, it's kind of a hard thing sometimes, so it's fun. The other thing I found out that you're supposed to do in these speeches, or these toasts, or whatever you want to call it, is tell something about the bride. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Judy. Some of these things you're going to know, some of them you won't, but none of them will be terribly surprising. We're just really proud of the beautiful young lady that Judy has become. And one of the things that we've always admired about Judy is that she's always cheering for the underdog. She always likes the underserved. And that's just how she's been wired since day one. And the first example of that was her 6th birthday party, where she said, you know what, I don't want any gifts, but if you bring gifts, bring these kind of gifts and we'll take them down to IOCP, the local food shelf type of place, and they did that. So the kids brought gifts. Instead of Judy having the gifts, they took them down. So that was an indication that she's a little different, in a good way, in a very good way. It also became apparent that she loved the underdog or the underserved when she met her, excuse me, Luke, but her first love, whose name was Gabe. Gabe was he was very young when we first met him, 2, 3, 4 years old, adopted from Guatemala.
Yes.
Guatemala. He has severe learning disabilities. He and Judy hit it off marvelously. She just loved that little boy, and we've seen him in the past year or two. And Gabe cannot communicate in the traditional sense that most people can, but whenever we would go to church and Gabe would see Judy, he'd reach out his arms, and you could tell that he knew that she was somebody different and that he really wanted to be with her. So that was very special.
Wow.
Again, another example is when she went to Zacatecas, Mexico on a mission trip, and she met her, sorry Luke, her second love named Noelle. Noelle was about 4 or 5 years old, one of the orphans at the orphanage. Kind of like Luke said about Judy, he was a fireball. He's got some energy, and Judy could match his energy. But she loved that little boy. She just had a heart for him and a heart for all of those kids in Mexico. I actually got to see that as I went back with her about a year later to Mexico to the same orphanage, and just see her in action with these kids and how much she just loves being with those kids. It also became apparent with her first full-time job, that, well, not full-time, but kind of seems like it, her first job, which she has now at ACR Homes, which is a group home for emotionally disabled, what do you want to, is that close enough? Okay, handicapped, mentally handicapped, how's that? I don't know, there's proper terms, but I apologize, I'm not very politically correct up here. But she served, gotta cheer. But she serves at that home, and there's 4 or 5 adults, 5 adults at that home. And she's always coming back and talking about these people, and she's really just grown to love these people, and it's just fun to watch her just really take on to these people. And we actually got to go to her Christmas party at the house and got to see her interact with those people, and it just really warmed our hearts that she really does love those. It also became apparent if you look at her major that she chose for college, English as a second language. Again, she's trying to help an underserved population. She's constantly doing that. And then also with her her teaching assistantship, student teaching type thing that she's done at a couple schools in inner city Minneapolis, and also a school in St. Paul, where there's a lot of kids who are kind of on the margins, and Judy really thrived and loved that atmosphere. Again, it just shows what a kind heart that she has and how much she really loves people who don't maybe get the love that they need from society and from other people. So that's probably my favorite thing about Judy, and I just wanted to share that with you. Again, most of you know some of those stories, but hopefully that kind of ties it all together. The last thing, more applause, that I would like to do is to read from 1 Corinthians 13, and I want to change this up a little bit, and I stole this idea from my wife, who actually gave me permission to use this idea, and who stole it from somebody else, I think, but that's not the point. And I'm going to read through a few verses of this chapter twice. And the first time I'm going to put Judy's name in there, the second time I'm going to put Luke's name in there. I want you to think about this. Judy is patient, Judy is kind. Judy does not envy, Judy does not boast. Judy is not proud. Judy does not dishonor others. Judy is not self-seeking. Judy is not easily angered. Judy keeps no records of wrongs. Judy does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Judy always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Judy never fails. Luke is patient. Luke is kind. Luke does not envy. Luke does not boast. Luke is not proud. Luke does not dishonor others. Luke is not self-seeking. Luke is not easily angered. Luke keeps no record of wrongs. Luke does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Luke always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Luke never fails. Now, granted, both of you will never be all of those things or any of those things all of the time, but as you go through your lives together, one of the goals is to be more like each of those characteristics as often as you possibly can. There's only one person who can do all of those, and that's God. And if you put God into those verses, God is patient, God is kind, and down the line, it works. So your goal is to keep doing that. So, I'll shut up now. With that, please raise your glass as we raise a toast to Luke and Judy. Salute. Next.